You are living in a world that appears solid, structured, and deeply familiar. The people you meet, the places you visit, the events that unfold, everything seems real, tangible, and permanent. But what if I told you that this world, this reality, is more like a dream? A dream you are participating in, one that you are not just living within, but are also the creator of, without even knowing it. This might sound like fantasy, but what if the truth of existence is far more mysterious than you've been led to believe? What if your entire life is happening within a grand simulation? Everything you experience, everything you perceive, is a reflection of your beliefs, your inner thoughts, and your imagination. The way out of this simulation is not by breaking some external barrier or unlocking hidden doors, but by awakening to the true nature of yourself and the power you hold. You are not a victim of circumstances, nor are you trapped within this world unless you believe you are. Look around. Everything you see is a product of your focus and attention. Every obstacle, every success, every person, and every event in your life was drawn to you through your awareness. You might believe you are subject to the whims of fate or destiny, but in reality, it's all a projection of your inner world. You are the architect of your own experience. The world is a mirror, reflecting not what you want, but what you deeply believe. The illusion of the simulation is that the world exists outside of you, that it is separate and independent of your thoughts. But this couldn't be further from the truth. This world, this experience, is a stage where your inner convictions play out. It's like a dream where everything feels so real, yet the moment you wake up, you realize it was all a creation of your mind. The exit from the simulation is not physical, it's not something you can find with your eyes. It's an internal shift, a transformation of perception. You exit the simulation by awakening to the knowledge that you are both the dreamer and the dream. You are the source from which all of this springs. You must begin to understand that the power lies within you. The laws of this simulation are simple. What you believe is what you experience. Your beliefs shape your reality. Your thoughts, especially those deep, habitual ones that operate below the surface, govern the conditions of your life. If you believe in lack, you will experience lack. If you believe in love, love will surround you. The exit is not found in trying to manipulate the external world, but in transforming the inner world, the place where the simulation begins. Start to see the patterns in your life, the recurring situations, the repetitive struggles. These are not random occurrences. They are the result of the energy you've been carrying, the beliefs you've held for too long without question. When you become aware of these patterns, you've taken the first step toward breaking free. The key is not in resistance, but in recognition. Recognize that the simulation is playing out your beliefs and that those beliefs can be changed. If you want to exit, the way is through mastery of your thoughts and emotions. Too often we allow ourselves to be tossed around by external events, reacting to the world as if it's in control of us. But what if you flipped the script? What if, instead of reacting to the world, you acted as the creator? Imagine if you consciously decided the kind of life you wanted, the experiences you desired, and the person you wanted to be. That's where the power lies. You are not powerless. You've never been powerless. The illusion is that you need to fight or strive to change the world around you. But in truth, you need only to change yourself, and the world will follow. It's like waking up from a dream. In a dream, no matter how real it seems, the moment you realize you are dreaming, you can control the dream, you can shift it, shape it, and make it whatever you wish. This world, this so-called simulation, is no different. But how do you awaken to this knowledge? How do you step out of the old patterns, the limiting beliefs, the constraints that seem to bind you? It begins with awareness. You must begin to observe yourself not as a passive participant, but as a creator. Watch your thoughts, your reactions, your feelings. These are the keys that unlock the exit. Every time you catch yourself in a negative thought, every time you notice a belief that limits you, that is an opportunity to break free. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. Start imagining the life you desire. Visualize it in great detail. See it, feel it, and know it to be real, even if the world around you says otherwise. The simulation responds to your inner state, not the other way around. If you maintain a state of abundance, abundance will manifest. If you remain in a state of love, love will appear in your life. The exit from the simulation is not some far-off destination. It's here, in this moment, waiting for you to realize that you've had the key all along. Stop allowing external events to dictate your reality. Start dictating your reality through the power of your imagination. Imagination is the tool that frees you from the constraints of the world. It is your direct connection to the infinite. The images you hold in your mind, the feelings you entertain, these are the blueprints for your life. The more you align with the reality you desire in your inner world, the more the outer world will shift to match it. The exit is here in your ability to dream consciously, to imagine deliberately, to feel deeply. But it requires discipline. It requires a conscious decision to stop living by default, to stop letting the simulation run your life on autopilot. You must take control. You must become the active creator, not the passive observer. This is the great secret, the great mystery. The world is not happening to you, you are happening to the world. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, it all feeds into the simulation. It all shapes the reality you experience. The more you become aware of this, the more you will realize that you have the power to change anything, to transform any situation, to become anyone you wish to be. But it all begins within. The simulation is simply a reflection of your inner world. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. It's time to wake up. It's time to see the truth. You've been playing this game for too long, believing you were at the mercy of forces outside of your control. But now you know the truth. You are in control. You always have been. The exit is not out there, it's within you. It's in your thoughts, your beliefs, your imagination. Shift those and you shift the world. There is nothing you cannot achieve, no reality you cannot experience, no dream that is beyond your reach. The only limits are the ones you impose on yourself. The only boundaries are the ones you believe in. The moment you stop believing in those boundaries, the moment you release those limiting beliefs, the walls of the simulation begin to crumble. You are infinite, powerful, and limitless. The simulation is but a shadow of your true self, a reflection of your inner state. So step into your power. Claim your birthright as the creator of your reality. The world is waiting for you to awaken. The simulation is ready to bend to your will. All you need to do is decide. Decide who you want to be, what you want to experience, and how you want to live. And then live from that place. Feel it, know it, trust it. The exit is already here within you, waiting for you to step through. The moment you begin to understand that everything is connected to your state of mind, you will start to see the simulation for what it really is, a construct of your consciousness, reflecting your internal world with precision. This is why you must be mindful of what you think and feel. Because your mind is like a projector, casting your beliefs and emotions onto the screen of your reality. The life you experience is simply the outpicturing of your inner dialogue, your constant thoughts, and your imagined scenarios. If you believe you are stuck, you will continue to feel stuck. If you believe you are free, the doors to freedom will appear before you. You see, the exit from the simulation is not an escape from the world itself. You don't need to run away or change your external circumstances. The exit is a shift in your understanding of reality, a deep, internal shift in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. It's about realizing that you are not confined by the limitations of this world. Rather, this world is confined by the limitations you place upon it. The moment you change your perception, the world changes with you. What does that mean in practical terms? It means that the thoughts you hold most often, the ones that repeat in your mind throughout the day, are the very threads that weave your reality together. If you are constantly worrying, feeling anxious, or doubting yourself, you are feeding those emotions into the simulation. The simulation doesn't judge or question your beliefs, it simply reflects them back to you. This is why it's crucial to master your thoughts, to choose them deliberately, to become conscious of the inner conversation you are having with yourself. Imagine for a moment that the world is a blank canvas and your mind is the brush. Whatever picture you paint with your thoughts, the simulation brings into being. If you paint a picture of lack, scarcity, and struggle, that is what you will experience. If you paint a picture of abundance, joy, and success, those will become your reality. The key is to understand that you are the painter. You are not at the mercy of the external world. The external world is at the mercy of your inner state. This is where many get stuck. They look at their lives and see things they don't like, perhaps financial difficulties, relationship challenges, or health issues, and they believe those external circumstances are permanent, fixed, and beyond their control. But this is just part of the illusion. The simulation wants you to believe that the external world is real and unchangeable, but it is only as real as the thoughts you continue to hold about it. If you want to change your life, you must first change the beliefs that keep those circumstances in place. But this requires discipline. The exit from the simulation is not a one-time event, it's a continuous process of awakening, of aligning yourself with the truth of who you really are. You must be vigilant in your thoughts, guarding against negativity and doubt. Every time you catch yourself slipping into old patterns of fear, lack, or limitation, you must stop and consciously redirect your mind toward the reality you wish to experience. This is the work, the real work. It's not about manipulating the outer world, but about mastering the inner world. The simulation is designed to keep you in a state of unconsciousness, to keep you reacting to the world rather than creating it. But the moment you wake up to the truth of your power, the simulation loses its grip on you. You become the master of your destiny, the creator of your life. You begin to realize that the limits you once believed in were self-imposed. The barriers you thought were real were merely illusions created by your own mind. This is why you must be bold in your imagination. Dare to dream bigger than you ever have before. Imagine a life that goes beyond what you've been told is possible. The simulation will try to convince you that you are limited, that you can only achieve so much. But these are just programs running in the background, programs you have the power to override. You are the programmer of your own life, and the code you write is your thoughts and beliefs. When you fully understand this, you will no longer be a passive participant in the simulation. You will take control of your reality, knowing that nothing is impossible for you. The exit is not about escaping life, but about living life from a place of conscious creation. It's about realizing that the boundaries of this world are flexible, that they bend to the will of your imagination and the power of your belief. The more you live from this state of awareness, the more the world will open up to you. Opportunities will appear where there once were none. Doors will open that you didn't even know existed. People will show up in your life who can help you on your journey. This is the magic of the simulation. It responds to the energy you put out. When you align yourself with the state of already having what you desire, the simulation must bring it into your experience. But this doesn't mean you won't face challenges. The simulation will test you, pushing you to see if you truly believe in your power. It will present obstacles, not to punish you, but to help you grow, to help you become even more aligned with the truth of who you are. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your belief in your own creative power. The key is not to give in to fear or doubt, but to remain steadfast in your vision, knowing that the world must conform to your inner state. And here's the most beautiful part: once you understand how the simulation works, you will begin to feel a deep sense of freedom. You will no longer feel trapped by your circumstances, because you will know that you have the power to change them. You will no longer feel like a victim of life, because you will realize that you are the creator of your own experience. This is the ultimate exit from the simulation, the realization that you are the one in control. So what will you create? What kind of life will you choose to experience? The choice is entirely yours. The power is entirely within you. All you need to do is awaken to it, to see the simulation for what it really is, a reflection of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. And once you do, you will realize that the exit has been with you all along. It's not out there, but within you, waiting for you to step through the doorway of your own mind into the infinite realm of possibility. Once you step into this realization, everything around you begins to shift. The veil of the simulation becomes thinner and thinner as you start to see beyond the illusion, beyond the surface of what you thought was real. You notice that the things you once believed were immovable, those walls of limitation, those obstacles of doubt, begin to dissolve as you shift your consciousness. It becomes clear that you were never trapped in the first place, only conditioned to believe you were. The simulation is only as real as you allow it to be. Now that you're seeing things differently, you begin to notice patterns in your thinking, in the people you attract, in the circumstances that seem to repeat in your life. These patterns are clues, showing you the inner programs running in the background. They are not there to keep you stuck, but to reveal the beliefs you've been holding on to, the beliefs that have shaped the reality you've been living. You begin to realize that these repeating patterns are your key to transformation. By changing the beliefs behind the patterns, you alter the course of the simulation itself. But creation doesn't stop at just recognizing the belief. You must take the next step and consciously choose a new belief. You must decide what you want to experience and align yourself with that. This is where imagination comes into play. Your imagination is not just a tool for daydreaming, it is the gateway to creation. Whatever you imagine vividly and consistently with feeling will become your reality. The simulation will mold itself around the images you hold in your mind. So begin to use your imagination deliberately. Spend time each day visualizing the life you desire, not as something far off in the future, but as something you are experiencing right now. As you continue this practice, something incredible happens. The external world begins to shift. You start to notice synchronicities, small signs that the simulation is responding to your new state of being. Maybe it's a phone call from someone offering you an opportunity, or a sudden idea that leads to a breakthrough. These are not random occurrences, they are the reflection of your internal shift. The simulation, which once seemed so rigid and unchangeable, begins to bend to your will. This is how you exit it. You change the simulation by changing yourself. But remember, this is not a one-time event. The simulation is constantly responding to the dominant energy you are emitting, which means you must remain consistent in your new state of being. It's easy to slip back into old habits, old patterns of thinking, especially when the external world tries to convince you that nothing has changed. This is where persistence comes in. You must persist in your new state, even when the outer world doesn't yet reflect it. Trust that the world will catch up to your new vibration, because it always does. The simulation has no choice but to reflect your inner state, but it may take time for the old reality to dissolve completely. Patience is key. You must trust the process, even when things seem to be moving slowly. Often the simulation tests your commitment by throwing challenges in your path. These challenges are not meant to deter you, but to strengthen your belief in your own power. Every time you face a challenge, you have a choice. You can react from your old state of being, or you can respond from your new state. The more you choose the latter, the quicker the simulation will shift. And as you continue to awaken to this truth, something even deeper emerges. You realize that the simulation itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad, it simply responds to your energy. This is a powerful understanding because it frees you from the need to judge or resist the simulation. You no longer see it as something to escape from, but as something to master. The exit, you come to understand, is not about leaving the simulation behind, but about transcending it while still within it. You learn to navigate the simulation with ease, knowing that it is a mirror of your consciousness. At this point, life becomes a game, a beautiful, intricate game where you are both the player and the creator. You are no longer bound by the rules of the simulation, because you understand that you are the one who writes the rules. You create the limits, and you can dissolve them at will. This is freedom, true freedom. The freedom to be, do, and have whatever you desire, simply by aligning with the reality you wish to experience. And here is where the real magic happens. As you continue to operate from this state of awareness, you begin to experience a profound sense of peace. You no longer feel the need to force or struggle to make things happen. You understand that the simulation is always working for you, not against you. The external world becomes a dance, a flow of energy that reflects your inner world. You no longer need to control or manipulate the outer circumstances because you know that everything you need is already within you. The more you relax into this understanding, the more effortlessly the simulation responds to your desires. But don't mistake this for passivity. While the external world may seem to flow more easily, you are still an active participant in your creation. You are constantly choosing, constantly directing your energy toward what you want to experience. The difference now is that you are doing so from a place of ease and certainty, rather than from a place of fear or doubt. You trust in your power, and the simulation responds to that trust. The people around you may not understand what is happening. They may continue to operate within the simulation, believing that life is happening to them rather than for them. But you will know the truth. You will see the simulation for what it really is, a beautiful, flexible, ever-changing reflection of your inner state. And as you continue to live from this awareness, you will inspire others to awaken as well. Your life will become a living example of what is possible when you exit the simulation and step into your true power. So where do you go from here? You continue to create. You continue to explore the limitless possibilities that are available to you. The simulation is not your prison, it is your playground. You are not bound by its rules, you are the author of them. Every moment is an opportunity to create something new, something beautiful, something that reflects the highest version of yourself. This is your invitation to step into the fullness of who you are, to recognize that you are the creator, the dreamer, and the dream. The simulation is yours to command, yours to shape, yours to transform. The exit is not somewhere out there, it is within you. It is your awareness, your consciousness, your ability to choose a new reality. And once you see this, once you feel this, there is no going back. You are free. Free to create, free to explore, free to live the life you were always meant to live. The world, the simulation, will continue to reflect your consciousness. The question is, what will you choose to create next? The possibilities are endless. The power is yours. You stand at the precipice of infinite potential. The world around you, which once felt like a maze of confusion, now unfolds as a vast canvas upon which you can paint your desires. The simulation no longer feels like a trap, it becomes a field of endless opportunities. Every thought, every feeling, every intention you hold is a stroke of your brush. The colors you choose, the emotions you immerse yourself in, they are all shaping the landscape of your reality. When you realize that everything around you is a reflection of your inner world, something profound happens. You begin to let go of the need to control the outer circumstances, the people, and the events. Instead, you shift your focus inward, understanding that the key to transforming the external world lies in mastering the internal one. This is the essence of exiting the simulation, realizing that everything begins within you. At first, this might seem like a challenging concept to fully grasp. You've been conditioned for so long to believe that the world happens to you, that your circumstances are fixed, and that you are at the mercy of fate. But now, with this newfound awareness, you see that you have been the source all along. The thoughts you think, the emotions you allow yourself to dwell on, the beliefs you hold, these are the architects of your reality. Every limitation you experience is not a boundary imposed by the simulation, but a belief you've accepted as truth. The simulation, like a mirror, reflects back to you everything you believe to be true. If you believe that life is hard, that success is elusive, that love is conditional, the simulation will show you evidence of that everywhere you look. But as soon as you change those beliefs, as soon as you shift your focus to new possibilities, the simulation shifts with you. It cannot help but do so, because it is merely reflecting your consciousness. This is why your imagination is so powerful. When you imagine something with feeling, you are planting a seed in the simulation, a seed that will grow and manifest in your external world. But here's the key, it's not enough to just imagine once and then forget about it. You must dwell in the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled. You must make that state of being your new home. This is the true exit from the simulation, when you live in the consciousness of your desired reality, regardless of what the outer world currently shows you. You must trust that the outer world will eventually conform to your inner state, because it always does. The simulation is programmed to reflect your dominant state of being. It is law. As you immerse yourself in this new understanding, you begin to see that the simulation is neutral. It has no agenda, no will of its own. It simply reflects what you believe to be true. This is why two people can experience the same event in completely different ways. One person sees an obstacle, while another sees an opportunity. One person feels fear, while another feels excitement. The difference is not in the event itself, but in the state of consciousness of each person. The simulation is responding to both of them, giving each exactly what they expect to see. This is why it's so important to guard your mind. You cannot allow yourself to be swayed by the outer world, because the outer world is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you react to what you see, you only reinforce the current simulation. But if you can hold steady in the face of challenges, if you can maintain your inner state of belief in your desired outcome, the simulation will eventually shift to match that belief. This requires discipline. It requires a deep commitment to your inner work. You must be willing to look beyond the current reality and trust in the unseen. You must be willing to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when there is no physical evidence of it yet. This is where so many people get stuck. They want to see the change before they believe it's possible. But that's not how the simulation works. You must believe it first, and then the change will come. Think of it like planting a seed in the ground. When you plant the seed, you don't expect to see the plant immediately. You understand that there is an unseen process happening beneath the surface. You trust that if you water the seed and give it sunlight, it will grow in time. The same is true for your desires. When you hold a vision in your mind and dwell in the feeling of it being already real, you are watering that seed. The more you nourish it with your belief and attention, the faster it will grow and manifest in the physical world. But just as with a seed, if you dig it up every day to see if it's growing, you disrupt the process. You must allow time for the unseen forces of the simulation to do their work. This is where faith comes in. You must trust that the process is working, even when you can't see the results yet. You must remain patient and persistent, knowing that the outer world will eventually reflect your inner world. As you continue on this journey, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your reality. Maybe it's a conversation that opens a new door, or an unexpected opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere. These are signs that the simulation is responding to your new state of being. But you must not become complacent. You must continue to nurture your inner state, to stay focused on your desired outcome, and to resist the temptation to fall back into old patterns of thinking. The more you do this, the more you will realize that you are not just exiting the simulation, you are mastering it. You are learning to navigate the world with a new level of awareness, understanding that you are the creator of your reality. The simulation is no longer something to escape from, it is something to work with. You begin to see it as a tool, a canvas upon which you can express your deepest desires. And as you master this, life begins to feel lighter, more joyful. The struggles that once seemed so overwhelming lose their power over you. You no longer feel the need to force things to happen or to control every detail of your life. You understand that the simulation will bring you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, as long as you remain aligned with your inner vision. This is the true freedom that comes from exiting the simulation. It's not about escaping to some other dimension or leaving the physical world behind. It's about rising above the limitations of the mind, stepping into the role of creator, and consciously directing your energy toward what you want to experience. It's about living in a state of flow, where everything feels effortless and aligned. And as you embody this new state of being, you become a magnet for all that you desire. The people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your vision are drawn to you effortlessly. You no longer have to chase after them, they come to you. This is the power of exiting the simulation. You no longer feel like you are at the mercy of the world around you. You understand that you are the source, the creator, the one who holds the key to your own reality. Every moment is an opportunity to create something new, to step into a higher version of yourself, to expand your consciousness and experience the limitless potential that is available to you. The simulation is here to serve you, to reflect back to you the truth of who you are. And as you continue to awaken to this truth, the boundaries of the simulation will dissolve, revealing a world of infinite possibilities. So now, as you stand at this threshold, the question is no longer whether you can exit the simulation. The question is, what will you create once you do? The answer is entirely up to you. The power is in your hands. The simulation awaits your command. What will you choose? As you stand on the brink of this realization, the question you must ask yourself is not about the limitations that once surrounded you, but about the infinite potential that lies ahead. The world you once perceived as rigid, constricting, or immovable is now revealed as fluid, flexible, and responsive to your very thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs. You are not bound by the simulation. In fact, you are the master of it. Imagine waking up each day with the awareness that you are not merely participating in life, but creating it. The events, the circumstances, and even the people you encounter are reflections of the energy you emit. The simulation mirrors your inner state, and this knowledge is your greatest tool. You are the painter, the architect, and the builder of your own reality. With every thought you think, every belief you hold, and every emotion you nurture, you are shaping the world around you. There is a tremendous sense of freedom in realizing that nothing in the outer world can dictate who you are unless you allow it. The simulation can no longer convince you that you are powerless. It can no longer persuade you to feel small, insignificant, or helpless. You now understand that the power to exit the limitations of the simulation lies entirely within you. It's not about leaving the physical realm or transcending into another dimension. No, it's about rising above the mental constraints that have held you back. It's about shedding the false beliefs that have kept you confined, breaking free from the self-imposed limits that have been reinforced by the illusion of external control. When you change your inner state, when you shift your consciousness, the simulation has no choice but to follow suit. This is the law. It is inevitable. The outer world must reflect your inner state of being. And so the process of exiting the simulation is not one of struggle or effort. It is not about fighting against what is, nor is it about escaping to some distant place. It is about becoming fully conscious of the fact that you are the creator of your reality. It is about recognizing that the simulation is always reflecting your inner world, and that by changing your inner world, you naturally and effortlessly change the simulation. Think about the power of your imagination. Every time you use it, you are stepping outside of the limitations of the simulation. You are stepping into a realm of infinite possibilities. When you imagine yourself in a new reality, when you feel the emotions of your desires as if they are already fulfilled, you are planting the seeds of that reality within the simulation. And as you hold steady in that state, as you continue to believe in the unseen, the simulation will begin to shift and rearrange itself to bring your inner vision into physical form. This is the beauty of the process. It is not about forcing change or manipulating the external world. It is about aligning yourself with the reality you wish to experience and allowing the simulation to reflect that alignment back to you. The more you immerse yourself in the feeling of your desired outcome, the faster the simulation will respond. But this requires a deep level of trust and patience. You must be willing to live in the state of your wish fulfilled, even when the outer world has yet to show any evidence of it. You must trust in the unseen forces at play, knowing that the simulation is always working in your favor, even when it appears otherwise. As you continue on this journey, you will begin to notice the subtleties of how the simulation responds to your inner state. Perhaps you will observe how certain people seem to change around you, how opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere, or how the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable suddenly dissolve. These are all signs that you are shifting the simulation. But remember, it's not about controlling or manipulating the outer world. It's about mastering your inner world. The exit from the simulation is not a destination, it's a state of being. It's the understanding that you are no longer confined by the limitations of the world you once perceived. You are free to create, to explore, and to experience life in ways that were previously unimaginable. This is your birthright. The simulation was never meant to imprison you, it was meant to serve you, to reflect back to you the truth of who you are. As you embrace this truth, As you step into the fullness of your creative power, you will notice that life begins to flow with a newfound ease. The things you once struggled to achieve now come to you effortlessly. The relationships, the opportunities, the experiences that align with your highest vision begin to appear in your life as if by magic. But it's not magic, it's the natural consequence of aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. You are no longer a passive participant in the simulation, you are the creator of it. And with that realization comes a sense of profound peace. You no longer need to force, to struggle, or to fight against what is. You simply align yourself with the feeling of your desired reality, and the simulation responds accordingly. This is the law. It is inevitable. And so as you move forward, remember this: the exit from the simulation is not about leaving the physical world behind. It is about awakening to your own creative power within it. It is about realizing that you are the source, the origin, the one who holds the key to your own experience. The simulation is a reflection, and it will always reflect back to you what you believe to be true. You are no longer confined by the limitations of your past beliefs. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the creator, the architect, and the builder of your own reality. And as you step into this new awareness, the simulation will shift to align with your highest vision. What will you create? What will you choose to experience? The possibilities are endless, and the choice is yours. You are free. You have always been free. And now, as you awaken to this truth, the simulation will respond to your every command. This is the power you hold. This is the truth of who you are. Step into it and watch as the world around you transforms in ways you never thought possible. The simulation awaits your direction. What will you create next? The answer is entirely up to you. As you stand on the precipice of this grand realization, it's important to understand that the process of exiting the simulation isn't about turning away from the world or distancing yourself from the life you're living. Instead, it's about awakening to the truth that has always been there, but perhaps hidden beneath layers of misunderstanding, fear, and self-imposed limitations. The journey isn't an escape, it's a deep dive into the essence of who you really are, beyond the external appearances, beyond the experiences that have shaped your perception. The simulation we speak of is nothing more than a reflection of your consciousness. It mirrors back to you the energy, the beliefs, and the assumptions you carry about yourself and the world. This is the profound truth: the world does not act independently of you. It is always responding, always reflecting your internal state. So when you talk about exiting the simulation, you're not talking about stepping into some foreign dimension or transcending the physical altogether. You're talking about transcending the limiting beliefs and mental constructs that have kept you imprisoned within a false narrative of who you think you are. You are not small, you are not limited. And the moment you wake up to the fact that the world outside of you is not fixed or rigid, but malleable and dynamic, you begin to understand the power you hold within. This is the first key to exiting the simulation, shifting your perspective from seeing yourself as a passive participant to recognizing yourself as the creator of your experience. Once this shift occurs, the simulation no longer holds the same power over you. It's as if you've been playing a game without realizing that you are the one holding the controller all along. You've been conditioned to believe that circumstances happen to you, that life unfolds in a manner outside of your control. But what if I told you that every experience, every event, every person who enters your life is a reflection of your inner world? This understanding is liberating because it means that the change you seek does not come from altering the external world, it comes from transforming your internal state of being. And when you transform the way you feel, think, and believe, the world around you responds in kind. Think of the simulation as a mirror. If you want to see a different reflection, you don't reach out and try to change the image in the mirror. You change yourself, and the reflection naturally changes. This is the essence of exiting the simulation. It's not about manipulating the outer world, but mastering your inner one. When you begin to see yourself as the source of your reality, you are no longer trapped by the conditions that once seemed to hold you captive. You realize that every limitation, every obstacle, every fear was nothing more than an illusion born from beliefs you no longer need to hold. But how do you practically live this truth? How do you carry this awareness into your everyday life and apply it in a way that creates real, tangible change? The answer lies in your ability to live as if. This means living from the feeling state of your desired reality before it physically manifests. You see, the simulation responds not to your words or your actions alone, but to the feeling state behind them. When you live in the feeling of your wish already fulfilled, you send out a signal that draws the corresponding circumstances and experiences into your life. You must train yourself to think and feel from your desired outcome, not toward it. Most people spend their lives trying to achieve something that always seems just out of reach. They are constantly in a state of wanting, striving, and struggling, which only perpetuates the experience of lack. But you, knowing what you now know, must flip this dynamic. You must embody the feeling of already having, already being, already doing that which you seek. This is the secret to mastering the simulation. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore the outer world or pretend that your current circumstances don't exist. It means that you see them for what they are, reflections of your past beliefs and assumptions. They are not fixed, they are not permanent, and they can change the moment you change your inner state. This is why it's essential to hold steady in the feeling of your desired outcome, even when the outer world is yet to catch up. Remember, the simulation must reflect back to you what you consistently feel and believe. Patience and persistence are key. The outer world may take time to shift, but it will shift. It has no choice but to align with the new state of consciousness you hold. But during this process, you must remain unwavering in your belief. You must resist the temptation to fall back into old patterns of doubt, fear, and limitation. Every time you do, you re-enter the old simulation, the one where you felt powerless and confined. But when you stand firm in your new belief, when you refuse to let the outer world dictate your inner state, you transcend the simulation. You exit the game of limitation and step into the realm of infinite possibility. As you walk this path, you will notice that the people around you, the circumstances you encounter, and the events that unfold will begin to shift in ways that seem almost magical. But remember, this is not magic, it is simply the natural consequence of aligning your consciousness with the truth of who you are. The world around you is fluid, flexible, and responsive to your inner state. When you embrace this truth, you become the conscious creator of your reality. Exiting the simulation, then, is not about leaving the physical world behind or rejecting your current experience. It is about rising above the mental constructs that have kept you confined. It is about seeing through the illusion of separation and recognizing your oneness with the source of all creation. It is about realizing that the power to shape your reality has always been within you, waiting to be awakened. In this new awareness, you are no longer at the mercy of the simulation. You are the master of it. You are no longer reactive, but proactive in creating the life you desire. The circumstances of the outer world may still challenge you at times, but they no longer have the same power to shake you. You understand that everything in the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state. And because of this, you hold the key to change. This is the path of true freedom, the freedom that comes from knowing that you are not bound by the limitations of the world around you. The simulation was never meant to imprison you, it was meant to serve as a mirror, reflecting back to you the power of your own mind. As you awaken to this truth, you realize that you are not just a player in the simulation, you are the creator of it. And with that realization, the limitations that once seemed so real begin to dissolve, leaving you free to create a life of infinite possibilities. So as you leave this space today, take with you this deep understanding: the world is not fixed. It is not rigid. It is as fluid and flexible as the thoughts you think and the feelings you hold. And as you change your inner state, the simulation must respond. This is the law. This is the truth. You are not confined by the simulation, you are the one shaping it. Step into this truth, live from this awareness, and watch as the world around you transforms in ways you never thought possible. Your life is not a series of random events. Every moment, every struggle, every delay, these are not obstacles. They are divine orchestrations leading you toward your greatest breakthrough. You have prayed, you have believed, and yet it may seem as if the door remains closed. But I tell you, the door is not locked. It is simply waiting for the perfect moment to open. The vision you hold in your heart, the promise whispered to you in the quiet of your soul, is not an illusion. It is real. It is already yours. Do not be deceived by the appearance of delay. The world of the senses will tell you that nothing is changing, that your prayers are unanswered, that your faith is in vain. But appearances are shadows, mere reflections of the past. You are not waiting for your breakthrough. Your breakthrough is waiting for you. It exists now in this moment, and your only task is to align yourself with it. Walk in the certainty that what you have asked for is already done. Feel it, live in it. The moment you accept it as true, it must come to pass. Many have given up just before their blessing arrived. They looked at their circumstances and allowed doubt to creep in. But you must not be shaken. The one who trusts does not waver. The one who believes does not question. Do you not see? God's timing is never early, never late. It is precise. It is perfect. Every trial, every moment of waiting has been shaping you, preparing you for the very thing you desire. What you seek is seeking you, but you cannot grasp it with a mind filled with fear, impatience, or disbelief. You must rest in the assurance that it is done. You must see yourself already in possession of your answered prayer. Do not wait for the evidence. Become the evidence. Hold the feeling of completion so firmly that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match the truth you carry within. When the seed is planted, do you dig it up each day to see if it is growing? No, you trust the process. You know that beneath the soil, unseen and unnoticed, life is forming. So it is with your desires. The work is being done in the unseen. God is moving in ways you cannot yet comprehend. And just as the seed breaks through the ground at its appointed time, so too will your breakthrough appear. Hold steadfast to your vision. Do not measure time as the world does, for in the divine realm all is now. What you call waiting, God calls unfolding. What you call delay, God calls preparation. Keep your faith unwavering, your thoughts aligned, your heart expectant. Your breakthrough is not distant, it is here, it is done. Trust. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, closer than the air you breathe, closer than the heartbeat within your chest. It is not in some distant future, not in some far-off place. It is here now, waiting for you to claim it. But you must first believe that it is so. You must first remove the veil of doubt that blinds you to the truth that God's timing is perfect. The truth that what you have asked for has already been given. The truth that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not overlooked. The world around you may whisper lies. It may try to convince you that nothing is changing, that your prayers have fallen on deaf ears. But the truth is not found in appearances. The truth is not determined by what you see with your physical eyes. The truth is revealed to those who look beyond, to those who dare to believe in the unseen, to those who trust in the power of the divine promise. When you plant a seed, you do not see the roots taking hold beneath the soil, but you trust that they are growing. You do not question whether the sun will rise each morning, yet you have never commanded it to do so. The same unseen hand that governs the rising of the sun, the same power that causes the trees to blossom in their season, is the same power orchestrating your breakthrough. And just as no force on earth can prevent the arrival of spring, nothing can stop the fulfillment of what has been promised to you. You have already received what you have asked for, but you must awaken to that reality. You must assume the feeling of already possessing it. The moment you embody the state of your answered prayer, the moment you live from the place of fulfillment rather than longing, that is the moment your world must shift to reflect it. You do not wait for change, you become change. You do not seek signs, you become the sign. This is the divine mystery that few understand, yet it is the key that unlocks every door. You are not a beggar in the kingdom of God. You do not have to plead, you do not have to convince, you do not have to strive. The Father knows what you need before you even ask. But He is waiting for you to rise in faith. He is waiting for you to step into the reality of what is already yours. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Many stand at the threshold of their breakthrough and turn away because they do not see it with their eyes. They believe only what the world reflects back to them, and in doing so they delay their own blessing. But you are called to a higher understanding. You are called to walk by faith, not by sight. If you believe only what your eyes can see, then you are a prisoner to the past. But if you believe in what is unseen, if you hold steadfast to the promise, then you will step into the miraculous. The moment you pray, it is done. The moment you believe, it is yours. But faith does not waver. Faith does not question. Faith does not demand to see before it believes. Faith knows. Faith rests. Faith rejoices before the evidence appears, because it understands that the evidence is inevitable. It is law. It is divine order. The greatest test of faith is not in the asking, but in the waiting. Will you remain steadfast when nothing appears to be changing? Will you hold to your vision even when circumstances seem to contradict it? This is where most give up. This is where many surrender to doubt, allowing fear to take root in the garden of their minds. But if you only knew how close you are, if you only knew that just beyond what seems like delay is the very thing you have been waiting for. You do not need to force it, you do not need to chase it, you do not need to struggle, you only need to receive. Can you receive without resistance? Can you let go of the need to control the how and the when? Can you trust that the same God who breathed life into you is the same God who knows the perfect time to bring forth what you desire? Every delay is divine. Every seeming setback is a setup. What you perceive as a detour is often the direct path to what is meant for you. Nothing is being withheld from you. Nothing is being kept from you. You are simply being prepared, being refined, being positioned. If you were given your blessing too soon, you would not yet be ready to sustain it. If the door opened too early, you might not yet be equipped to walk through it. But God sees beyond what you can see. He knows the appointed time, and He does not make mistakes. Release the need to struggle, release the need to question. Simply align yourself with the knowing that it is already done. If you could see what awaits you, you would not waste a single moment in worry. If you could see how every piece is falling into place, you would not doubt for even a second. But you must walk in that knowing before the evidence arrives. This is the test. This is the refinement of faith. Your thoughts are seeds. Every thought you dwell upon, every feeling you entertain is a prayer sent into the unseen realm. You do not have to say it out loud. You do not have to repeat it 100 times. The universe is listening to what you feel, to what you embody. If you dwell in lack, lack will manifest. If you dwell in uncertainty, uncertainty will multiply. But if you dwell in the fulfillment of what you desire, if you abide in the peace that comes with knowing it is already yours, then nothing can stop its arrival. This is not about wishful thinking. This is about understanding the divine law. What you assume to be true must become true. This is why you must guard your mind. This is why you must be vigilant over your thoughts. Every moment you entertain doubt, you delay your breakthrough. Every time you question, you push it further away. But every moment you live in faith, every time you affirm that it is already done, you accelerate its arrival. You are not waiting for your breakthrough. Your breakthrough is waiting for you. It is waiting for you to step into the version of yourself that already has it. It is waiting for you to embody the joy, the peace, the confidence of someone who knows that what they seek is already theirs. The moment you do this, the moment you become it, the moment you fully trust without reservation, the world must conform to your inner reality. This is the truth that has been spoken through the ages. This is the mystery that has been revealed to those who dare to believe. God does not withhold blessings. He does not delay without purpose. He does not forget His promises. What He has spoken over your life will come to pass, not because you strive for it, not because you force it, but because it is already written. The only thing that determines how soon you see it is your ability to believe it is already done. So stand firm, Do not be shaken, do not be moved by appearances. What is unseen is more real than what is seen. What is already yours cannot be taken from you. You are on the verge of something greater than you can imagine. Stay in faith, trust the timing, walk in the knowing that your breakthrough is not coming, it is here. Your breakthrough is not a distant possibility. It is not something you must chase, nor is it something that requires struggle. It is already within reach, already within you, waiting for your recognition, waiting for your acceptance. But to receive it, you must surrender to the divine flow of life, trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When you cease to resist, when you let go of worry and step fully into faith, you open the doors for what has always been yours. Most people live in a state of waiting. They wait for signs, for circumstances to change, for external validation that their desires are on the way. But waiting in this manner is a declaration that you do not yet have what you seek. It is an affirmation of lack, a silent prayer of doubt, and as long as you affirm the absence of your breakthrough, it will remain absent. The moment you shift from waiting to knowing, from hoping to embodying, the unseen forces move in your favor. Do not make the mistake of thinking your breakthrough is somewhere outside of you. It is not dependent on another person. It is not waiting for the perfect conditions. It is not something that can be given or taken away by anything external. It is a state of being, a shift in consciousness. And when that shift happens within, the world must adjust to reflect it. If you were told that everything you have prayed for was already guaranteed, how would you feel? How would you act? Would you still worry? Would you still question? Or would you walk in peace, knowing that it is already settled? That is the posture of true faith. That is the confidence of one who understands divine timing. That is the attitude that accelerates manifestation. There is no power in desperation. There is no creativity in fear. When you operate from a place of lack, you cut yourself off from the very blessing you are seeking. But when you shift into gratitude, when you give thanks for what is already yours even before you see it, you align yourself with the frequency of answered prayer. Gratitude is the language of manifestation. It is the song of faith, the bridge between desire and fulfillment. You must begin to see yourself as already possessing what you have asked for. You must feel it as if it were real, because in truth it is real the moment you believe it is done. The moment you accept it without doubt, it becomes yours. This is the key. Not striving, not pleading, but assuming the reality of what you seek. There are those who say they believe, but their actions reveal otherwise. They pray, yet they worry. They declare faith, yet they speak words of doubt. They ask for abundance, yet they focus on lack. They say they trust God's timing, yet they grow impatient. But true belief is unwavering. True trust does not need constant reassurance. It rests in the certainty that what is meant to be will come in the perfect moment. And that moment is never delayed, it is never late. It arrives exactly when it is needed, at the appointed time, in the appointed way. Even the delays you perceive are not delays at all, but preparations. What seems like a closed door is often a redirection. What feels like waiting is often divine alignment. And what appears to be a setback is in reality a setup for something far greater than you imagined. You must begin to walk as if it is already done, speak as if it is already done, think as if it is already done, because when you do, the world must reflect your inner state. It is law, it is divine order. You are the creator of your experience, not through force, but through belief. Not through effort, but through alignment. Not through striving, but through resting in the certainty that what you desire is already yours. There is power in stillness, power in silence. When you quiet the mind, when you let go of the need to figure everything out, you make room for divine wisdom to move through you. The greatest breakthroughs do not come through struggle, but through surrender. Not through force, but through faith. Faith does not ask how will it happen. Faith does not demand to see every step before taking the first one. Faith trusts. Faith moves forward even when the path is unclear. faith stands firm even when circumstances seem to contradict the promise. Because faith knows that what is unseen is more real than what is seen. You are not here to struggle. You are not here to live in fear. You are not here to question whether or not your breakthrough will come. You are here to rise in faith. You are here to declare with confidence that your time is now, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Look around you. Everything you see was once unseen. Everything that exists was once imagined. And, in the same way, your breakthrough already exists in the unseen realm. It is not a matter of if, but when. And when is determined by your ability to believe. There is nothing standing between you and what you desire except your own perception. The moment you remove the mental barriers, the moment you stop looking at the world through the lens of limitation, the moment you fully embrace the truth that it is already done, everything changes. Do not be discouraged by what you see. Do not be moved by what seems to be happening. The physical world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. But the moment you shift internally, the external must follow. It is law. It is the way of creation. You are not waiting for God. God is waiting for you to step into the version of yourself that already possesses the very thing you seek, waiting for you to embody the joy, the peace, the confidence of someone who knows that they have already received. So walk boldly, speak with authority, move in certainty. Your breakthrough is not coming, it is here. Trust in the timing, trust in the process, and above all, trust that it is already done. There is no power in hesitation. There is no strength in doubt. Every time you waver between belief and fear, between certainty and worry, you delay what is already meant for you. The moment you stand firm in the knowing that your breakthrough is inevitable, the forces of the unseen move in perfect harmony to bring it into your experience. You must not allow the evidence of the world to dictate what you believe. What you see with your physical eyes is not the final reality. It is merely the shadow of past thoughts, past beliefs, past emotions. If you continue to react to what is visible, you only perpetuate the cycle. But if you respond instead to the unseen reality, if you anchor yourself in the invisible truth that your breakthrough is already here, then the world must shift to reflect that knowing. Many ask, when will my time come? How much longer must I wait? But to ask these questions is to affirm that you do not yet have what you desire. To ask is to acknowledge lack, and to acknowledge lack is to strengthen it. Instead of asking, begin declaring. Instead of waiting, begin living as though it is done. Instead of wondering when it will arrive, step into the consciousness that it already has. There is no distance between you and your breakthrough. There is no separation between you and what you seek. The only thing standing in the way is the belief that it is separate from you. But what if you removed that belief? What if you truly accepted that it was already yours? What if you stopped striving, stopped seeking, and simply received? You have been conditioned to think that blessings must be earned, that manifestations require effort, that you must struggle to achieve what is meant for you, but this is an illusion. Your only task is to align. Your only work is to believe. The moment you release the idea of effort, the moment you stop grasping and start trusting, everything flows with ease. What would you do if you knew without a doubt that your breakthrough had already been secured? How would you act if you fully trusted that the divine has already arranged everything in perfect order? Would you still worry? Would you still stress over timelines? Or would you walk in peace, knowing that what is yours can never be taken from you? It is not a question of deserving. It is not a question of worthiness. You are already worthy. You were born worthy. There is nothing you must prove, nothing you must do to earn the favor that has already been bestowed upon you. The only thing required is that you step into agreement with this truth, that you stop resisting, stop questioning, and simply accept what has been prepared for you. Doubt is a thief. It robs you of the joy that is already yours. It blinds you to the blessings that are already present. Every time you allow doubt to take root, you build a wall between yourself and your breakthrough. But faith tears down every wall. Faith dismantles every barrier. Faith opens the floodgates of abundance, love, healing, and transformation. Your mind is the key. Your consciousness is the bridge. If you want to see change in your life, you must first create it within. You must become the person who already has what you seek. You must think, feel, and act as though your desire is not in the future but in the now. Because in truth there is no future, there is only now. And what you accept in the now determines what you will experience. There is no such thing as delay. There is no such thing as divine reluctance. What appears to be delay is often divine preparation. What seems like waiting is often alignment. You are not being denied, you are being positioned. You are not forgotten, you are being prepared. The very thing you seek is seeking you, but it cannot reach you until you are truly ready to receive it. You cannot hold on to fear and faith at the same time. You cannot cling to worry and trust simultaneously. You must choose. You must decide once and for all that you will no longer entertain doubt, that you will no longer question whether or not your time will come, that you will no longer allow external circumstances to dictate your inner state. Because the moment you make that decision, everything shifts. You may not see it immediately, but trust that it is happening. Trust that the very moment you align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the reality of your breakthrough, the wheels begin turning in the unseen. Trust that divine timing is never wrong, never late, never failing. There are no coincidences. There is no randomness in divine order. Every moment, every experience, every challenge is leading you exactly where you are meant to be. Even the things that seemed like failures were never failures at all. They were redirections. Even the doors that closed were not losses, they were protections. Even the times when you felt abandoned, you were being held closer than ever. Your faith is being strengthened, your spirit is being refined, and when the moment is right, when your heart is truly prepared, the manifestation will come with such clarity, such perfection, that you will wonder why you ever doubted. You will look back and see that it was always coming, always unfolding, always meant for you. So release the struggle, release the doubt, release the need to control, the timing and the method. Trust that the divine knows exactly what is required, exactly when it is required. Trust that nothing is missing, nothing is lacking, nothing is out of place. Your only task is to remain steadfast. Your only responsibility is to hold the vision, to embody the belief, to align with the truth that what is meant for you is already yours. And as you do, you will witness the miraculous. You will experience the manifestation of what you have long known in your heart to be true. You will see that your breakthrough was never far away. It was always closer than you thought. There is nothing standing between you and the life you desire except the illusion of separation. You have been taught to believe in time, to measure progress by days and years, to count the moments as if they are barriers between you and your breakthrough. But what if time is not what you think it is? What if the future you long for already exists in this very moment? What if the only thing keeping you from stepping into it is your own belief that it is still ahead of you, still distant, still unreachable? The truth is, you are not waiting for your breakthrough. Your breakthrough is waiting for you. It is waiting for you to align with it, to claim it as already done, to stop looking outside of yourself and realize that it has been within you all along. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold, every assumption you carry shapes the reality you experience. When you assume that your blessing is far away, it remains far away. When you assume that divine timing is still preparing it, you unknowingly delay it. But the moment you shift, the moment you accept that it is already here, the moment you embody the knowing that it is done, the doors swing open effortlessly. The world around you is simply a reflection of what you hold within. If you believe that you are lacking, you will see lack. If you believe that you must struggle, struggle will appear before you. But if you believe that you are already blessed, already victorious, already living in the fulfillment of your desires, then the world will mirror that truth back to you. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine law. What you impress upon your inner world must be expressed in the outer world. Most people live their lives reacting to circumstances, allowing what they see to determine what they believe. But this is the opposite of how creation works. You were never meant to be a passive observer of life. You were meant to be the architect of your reality. You were given the power to speak things into existence, to call forth what is unseen, to bring forth the manifestations that have already been established in the divine realm. But to do so, you must first accept that you are worthy of it. You must first know that you are chosen, that you are powerful, that you are divinely supported in all that you do. The reason so many delay their own breakthroughs is not because God is withholding anything from them. It is because they are withholding their own belief. They entertain doubt. They speak words of limitation. They see obstacles instead of opportunities. But the moment they shift, the moment they truly accept that all things are working together for their good, that the plan is unfolding perfectly, that they are already living in answered prayers, everything changes. Your mind is your key. Your imagination is your access point. Every time you close your eyes and see yourself in possession of your desire, you are moving closer to it. Every time you feel the joy, the gratitude, the fulfillment of already having what you seek, you are dissolving the barriers that once stood in your way. But you must hold to this feeling. You must remain in this state of certainty. You must refuse to waver, no matter what the external world tries to tell you. There will be moments when circumstances seem unchanged, when nothing in your physical reality appears to be shifting, but do not be deceived. The moment you plant a seed, it begins to grow beneath the surface, long before you see the first sprout. The moment you align with your breakthrough, divine forces move in ways unseen, orchestrating the perfect series of events, rearranging situations, guiding people and opportunities toward you. Just because you cannot see it yet does not mean it is not happening. The test of faith is in the waiting. The evidence of belief is in your ability to stand firm even when there is no visible proof. Those who truly understand divine timing do not concern themselves with when and how. They simply rest in the knowing that it is already finished. They do not chase, they do not beg, they do not operate from desperation. They move with confidence, with peace, with a quiet assurance that what is meant for them cannot miss them. Fear will whisper lies. It will tell you that time is running out, that you are too late, that you have missed your opportunity. But how can you miss what was divinely appointed for you? How can you be late to a destiny that was written for you before time even began? Do not let the voice of fear dictate your reality. Let the voice of faith be the only voice you listen to. You must walk as though you already have it. You must speak as though it is already yours. You must think, feel, and act in alignment with the reality you desire. This is how mountains are moved. This is how miracles unfold. This is how the unseen becomes seen. There is no force greater than the power of belief. No obstacle can stand against unwavering faith. No delay can outlast divine certainty. If you refuse to let go of your vision, if you hold on to it with unshakable trust, if you persist no matter what, then it must come to pass. It is law, it is truth, it is already done. Now is the time to rise. Now is the time to release every doubt, every fear, every limiting thought that has kept you bound. Now is the time to step into the reality of your breakthrough, not as something distant, not as something uncertain, but as something that is already yours. The moment you decide, truly decide that it is done, the moment you choose to see it, feel it, believe it with every part of your being, that is the moment everything shifts. The moment heaven and earth align to bring forth the manifestation that was always meant for you. That is the moment you will realize that your breakthrough was never far away, it was always right here, waiting for you to claim it. So, craving for you to claim it. You must no longer see yourself as someone waiting for a breakthrough. The moment you do, you create a separation between you and what is already yours. You must see yourself as the one who already possesses it. Not tomorrow, not in the distant future, but now. Right now, in this very moment, you must embody the feeling of already having received it. Because God does not operate in time the way man does. In the divine realm, everything is already finished. Every promise, every blessing, every breakthrough has already been established. It is not about asking God to do it. It is about aligning yourself with what has already been done. You have been conditioned to believe that life unfolds in a linear fashion, that your desires must take time to materialize, that the greater the blessing, the longer the wait. But what if time is only an illusion? What if the moment you truly believe, the moment you shift your awareness, the moment you fully accept that it is already done, that is the moment it becomes your reality? What if the only thing delaying your breakthrough is the very belief that it is still ahead of you? You must no longer live in the mindset of waiting. Waiting implies lack. It implies that something is missing, but nothing is missing. The only thing required is your recognition of what already is. When you shift from the consciousness of waiting to the consciousness of receiving, you open the floodgates. You allow divine timing to bring forth in perfect order that which was always yours. Every delay you perceive is not a delay at all. It is divine orchestration. It is the unseen working in your favor, rearranging what must be rearranged, removing what no longer serves you, aligning every detail to match the vision you hold within. But the greatest mistake people make is assuming that because they do not see movement, nothing is happening. That is why they give up too soon. That is why they question God's timing. That is why they step out of alignment and fall back into the state of longing rather than the state of fulfillment. You must remain unwavering. You must hold to the vision. You must refuse to be moved by what your eyes see and instead stand firm in what your spirit knows. This is the secret. This is the key. The moment you truly accept that it is done, without question, without doubt, without fear, that is the moment your reality shifts. But you must persist. You must refuse to let external circumstances shake your inner knowing. You must walk, speak, and move as though your breakthrough has already happened, because in the divine realm it has. God's timing is not about delay. It is about perfection. It is about divine order. It is about ensuring that what you receive is not only what you desire, but what is best for you. If you knew the full picture, if you saw all the moving pieces, if you understood the depth of what is being arranged for you, you would not doubt for a single moment. You would rest in absolute peace. You would walk in unshakable confidence. You would stop asking, when will it happen? And instead say, thank you, Lord, for it is already done. This is the shift that changes everything. When you thank God in advance, when you live in the awareness that it is already accomplished, you no longer operate from desperation. You no longer beg, you no longer strive, you rest, you trust, you move with assurance. And it is this state of being that allows divine timing to bring forth what has been promised to you. Most people are too focused on time. They watch the clock, they measure their progress, they compare themselves to others, and in doing so they create resistance. They allow impatience to rob them of their peace. But you are called to move differently. You are called to step outside of time, to see beyond what is visible, to recognize that what you seek is already yours in the unseen realm. And when you hold that knowing without wavering, the unseen must become seen. It is law. God is not withholding your breakthrough. It is not something you must earn. It is not something you must struggle for. It is something you must align with. The moment you fully align with it, through your thoughts, your words, your emotions, your faith, that is the moment it appears. That is the moment it becomes tangible. That is the moment everything shifts. You must not allow fear to steal what is already yours. Fear will whisper that it is taking too long. Fear will try to convince you that it is not meant for you. Fear will attempt to plant doubt in your heart. But you must recognize fear for what it is, a distraction, an illusion, a test. Every time fear arises, it is an opportunity to choose faith instead. Every time doubt knocks, it is an opportunity to stand even firmer in the knowing that it is done. You have already won. You are already victorious. You are already standing in the reality of your breakthrough. The only thing left is for you to fully claim it. To claim it not just with words, but with absolute conviction. To claim it with the way you think, with the way you feel, with the way you move through life. This is the difference between those who manifest their desires and those who continue to wait. Those who manifest do not see their desires as distant, they see them as already accomplished. They do not ask, they thank. They do not wish, they know. Your breakthrough is not coming, it is here, right now, in this moment. You need only step into it. You need only accept it. You need only believe without question, without hesitation, without doubt. The moment you do, you will see that it was never far from you. It was always within you. It was always waiting for you to recognize it, to claim it, to step into the reality that was yours all along. There is no need to strive, no need to push, no need to force anything into being. What belongs to you is already written into the fabric of your existence. It is not outside of you waiting for you to reach it. It is within you, waiting for you to align with it. The moment you stop seeking, the moment you stop trying to control how and when it will arrive, that is the moment everything flows effortlessly into your life. You were never meant to chase after blessings. You were never meant to beg for what is already yours. You were meant to stand in certainty, to walk in the assurance that what God has promised is already complete. If you could truly grasp this truth, if you could allow yourself to live from this knowing, you would never again experience doubt. You would never again wonder if it will happen, if you are worthy, if it is possible. Those thoughts do not exist in the mind of someone who understands divine timing. Those who walk in divine authority know that what they decree must come to pass. They do not waver. They do not question. They do not hesitate. They declare it done, and because they do, it becomes so. You are being prepared for what you have asked for. This preparation is not punishment. This waiting period is not delay. It is a process of refinement, of alignment, of ensuring that when your breakthrough arrives, you are in full readiness to receive it. Some people receive too soon and are not able to hold on to what was given. They lack the foundation, the wisdom, the strength to sustain the blessing. But that will not be your story. You are being positioned perfectly. You are being strengthened in ways you cannot yet see. You are being refined for a level of abundance, success, and peace that you would not have been able to carry had it arrived any sooner. Your only task is to trust. Trust the unseen. Trust the process. Trust the divine orchestration that is moving everything into place. The mind will try to interfere. It will attempt to analyze, to question, to control. But your breakthrough does not come through logic. It does not come through overthinking. It comes through surrender. It comes through unwavering belief. It comes through stepping so fully into the feeling of already having received it that the physical world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Close your eyes and see it now. Not as something you hope for, not as something you wish to happen, but as something already done. Feel the joy of it. Feel the relief of it. Feel the gratitude as though it has already manifested in your life. Hold on to that feeling. Do not let it waver. Do not let circumstances shake you. Do not let external noise convince you otherwise. What you feel deeply, consistently, and unwaveringly must become your reality. It is lost. Most people allow what they see to dictate what they believe. They allow the absence of physical proof to convince them that it is not working, that nothing is happening, that their breakthrough is far away. But the truth is, everything begins in the unseen. Everything starts as a seed in the spiritual before it is made visible in the physical. If you plant a seed in the ground and do not immediately see the plant, do you dig it up in frustration? No, you trust the process. You know that below the surface something is happening. The roots are forming, the foundation is being set, the unseen work is taking place, so that in perfect timing it will break through the soil. Your breakthrough is no different. It is already taking form. It is already growing beneath the surface. Just because you cannot see it yet does not mean it is not happening. Just because there is no visible evidence does not mean the promise is not being fulfilled. You must hold firm in the knowing that what is unseen is more real than what is seen. What you feel in your spirit is more true than what you witness with your eyes. Do not allow temporary circumstances to dictate eternal truths. Do not allow passing moments to shake your faith in what is permanent. You were created with power. You were designed to call things into existence. You were given the ability to speak life, to declare things as done before they are seen. This is your divine right. This is the truth that separates those who manifest from those who wait indefinitely. Those who manifest do not hope. They know. They do not wish. They declare. They do not ask repeatedly. They give thanks in advance. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can continue to wait, to wonder, to question, to doubt, or you can step fully into the reality that it is already done. You can decide that your breakthrough is not coming, it has arrived. You can choose to live in the fulfillment of the promise rather than the longing for it. When you do this, when you make this shift, when you stand in complete faith, you will watch as everything falls perfectly into place. Your only task is to remain unwavering, to trust so completely that nothing can move you, to hold on to the vision so firmly that no outside force can shake it from your heart, to carry the feeling of having already received so strongly that the physical world must align to match it. When you do this, when you step into this level of faith, when you walk with the certainty of someone who knows that divine timing is never late, you will look around and realize that your breakthrough was never far away. It was always here, waiting for you to claim it. And so I leave you with this truth. Your breakthrough is not in the distance, not something to be chased, not something uncertain. It is already yours. It is unfolding in divine timing, moving toward you as surely as the sun rises each day. The only thing required of you is unwavering faith, a heart that trusts beyond what the eyes can see, and a spirit that aligns with the reality of already receiving. Walk forward in certainty, stand firm in your knowing. Do not waver, do not doubt, do not let the noise of the world shake what you hold within. The moment you fully accept that what is meant for you is already done, you will see it manifest effortlessly. Your breakthrough is here. Trust it. Receive it, give thanks for it, and watch as it becomes your reality.